Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you know anything about me, you know I normally post homeschool stuff because we are a homeschool family and I like sharing that information. But today I'm going to talk about something that has recently happened in our house, and that was getting rid of the paci for my 2-year-old. We have 3 kids. We have gotten rid of the paci with 3 different techniques, and I'm going to share those 3 ways with you. I know they work because we did them. You'll get all kinds of advice on different ways to get rid of the paci, but I'm just going to share with you real quick the 3 ways that actually worked for us. So right now I have a 14-year-old, a 9-year-old, and a 2-year-old. And I'm going to tell you the story of how we got rid of the paci for all of them. They were all paci babies. I actually still have my pacis from my 2-year-old. I had to go look for it because I couldn't find it. They're in this cup, and I will tell you how they got in the cup. So I had to look really hard for these pacis for my son this year. This is the style of paci that all my kids took. I had to look hard for these this year, or not this year. I had to look hard for these this time around with my son because I could not find them anywhere. They were everywhere with my daughters, but couldn't find them with my son. So let me go back and tell you the story of my 14-year-old when we got rid of her pacis and what worked for her. So she was like walking, talking, having full-on conversations when she was only 1. Like, she was literally greeting people at the door at her first birthday, you know, saying 2 and 3 word sentences, and we could communicate with her very well. She didn't have very many of those baby words where you're like, huh, what, what? We do that with my 2-year-old now, but with her, she spoke so clearly, and we could carry on conversation with her, and she is still, I think she is mature for her age. I know a lot of parents say that, but honestly, she is, and we all the time have people telling us, you know, like, she's how old? Because they think she's 2 or 3 years older than what she is. But even then, she was mature for her age. I mean, she was clearly talking and understanding and carrying on conversations at a very young age, I think. Even, you know, compared to my other 2 kids, it's not like all my kids are, you know, super smart. She specifically, at that age, could understand. So what we did, I cannot remember how old she was. I think she was 2. And she was having a paci. It was just a normal thing. Like, she was having it at nap times and bedtime. And it wasn't really an issue, you know, other than the dentist telling us, you know, you got to get rid of that paci and talking about the curvature of the mouth and all that. You know, they'll tell you instantly, get rid of the paci, they're bad. So we had, you know, the dentist telling us that she needed to get rid of the paci, but it wasn't like I don't remember her carrying it around all the time and having it in her mouth all the time, like interfering with her talking. But it was just time to let it go. You know, we figured it was that she was old enough to let it go. So what we did was we had a neighbor, our next door neighbor was having a baby. And we told my daughter that the baby was coming and the baby was going to need pacis. So, and we were going to be nice and we were going to give her pacis. He was like, wouldn't it be nice for the baby to have pacis since you're a big girl and you don't need these pacis anymore? We can give them to the baby. She was so excited about it. We got a pink, neighbor was having a little girl. We got a pink bag, like a brown paper lunch bag kind of thing. We got a pink gift bag that was like that. We found all of her pacis. She helped me gather all her pacis. We put them in the bag. We decorated the bag, you know, put the new baby's name on it and everything, and I think we put stickers and wrote on it and all that, and, you know, for her to do. And she carried it up to the neighbor to give it to her for the new baby. And, you know, I had already went over the plan with the neighbor and I told her what was happening. So she was, you know, super excited and made my daughter feel so, you know, so even more excited about being able to give her this, and, you know, that the new baby was going to use these pacis. And that was it. She didn't ask for them. She knew where the pacis were. She knew they were going to the baby. She never asked for them again. It wasn't an issue. And that was how we got rid of the pacis with my daughter, with my oldest daughter. Second go around, second child, she loved her pacis. I mean, it was constant. And she was the kid that, you know, she was 4 when we finally got the pacis away from her. And it took way too long. We tried a couple of different things with her, but what ended up working was if you've never heard of this, we cut the ends of her paci. Somebody told us, you know, they told us to poke a hole in the paci. So it was like you poke a hole in the end of it, just a tiny hole, so that it doesn't have the same suction when in their mouth like it normally would. So we started with that. We took like a sewing needle or something and poked a hole right in the end of it so that it wouldn't, you know, suction the same. We give it to her. She, you know, put it in her mouth. She kind of looked at it kind of weird, felt it around her mouth, and then, you know, went on with it. She still loved her pacis. She still wanted her pacis. Didn't matter how many holes we poked in it. Every one of her pacis, we poked the hole in, because she was also the one that she would find pacis. She would have them stuck under her bed, you know, behind closet doors, you know, wherever, in her toy boxes. Just, she was constantly pulling out a new paci that we didn't know was still in the house, and she would get one that didn't have a hole in it. So then we went to, as we were finding them throughout the house, we started cutting the ends of them. That was another trick that somebody told us about. So we would poke the hole in it. We made the hole bigger. Like I took a pair of scissors and you kind of cut crossways, like take the end of it and cut the scissors and do, one this way and then one this way. And we cut it so that it would completely flatten out. And then we started cutting the ends off of it. It didn't really bother her. She still wanted her paci all the time. It was constantly in her mouth. She would, hang on it on the side of her mouth, chew on it while trying to talk, and we're like, take the paci out, take the paci out. So we started cutting the paci, cutting it. We got down to where, just for fun to see if she would do it, we cut the pacis all the way down to the edge. So she just barely had enough to even hold it in her teeth. And we thought surely after, we cut it down that little, she's not going to want it, but she still wanted it. I think it helped her lose interest in it a little bit because it was so hard for her to even keep it in her mouth. She just wanted something to chew on, I guess. Eventually, after all the pacis were cut down to nothing and we thought she would want to get rid of them, we finally just took them away. We told her no more paci. And it really didn't bother her. Once we had cut them down, I guess, and it was difficult for her to keep them in her mouth, she didn't really care that she didn't have them anymore. I think it was like maybe 2 or 3 days that she would ask for paci, and we would just tell her no more pacis. And she'd fuss a little bit and then go about her business and didn't ask no more. She had her blanket. She had 15,000 babies. She's my stuffed animal baby, and she didn't care. It was over and done with, and we had no more pacis for her. She would occasionally find one at my mom's house, and my mom would give her one, but it wasn't like a big deal where, she regressed with it, where she had to have it all the time after she got it that one time. It was fine. So that's what worked for my second kid. Third kid, most currently, the one that these pacis belong to, he loved his paci. He would have Blanky and Baby and Paci. But he didn't call it paci, he called it mine. M-I-N-E, mine. He'd say, I want mine. I want blue mine. And this one in particular was the one that he was super attached to. Blue mine, space paci. Sometimes he would call it space mine or blue mine because it's got little stars on it and it glows in the dark. If you never had these, oh no, it was this one. My sister gave me these, and they glow in the dark. That was like the best thing ever at night when he would lose his paci. So he had all different kinds of pacis, and he loved them. Like, it was constantly, Aunt mine, Aunt Banky, Aunt Baby, Aunt mine, Banky, Baby. He wanted those 3 things all the time, and I was scared he was going to have a fit when we tried to take them. So we started trying to wean them away from him and not let him have them during the day. I mean, he was 24/7, he was with a paci in his mouth. So my husband and I started agreeing that, we needed to take it away from him during the day, especially if he's like playing. He definitely doesn't need it in his mouth. When he would talk, we'd say, no, take paci out, take paci out. No talking with paci. So, and he would know. He would take his paci out, he'd talk, and he'd stick it right back in. So we started taking away, during the day, in between naps. If it was nap time, bedtime, he would ask for it. We would give it to him. So we started trying to wean it. And then we went to the dentist about 2 months ago, and the dentist said, and this was after several weeks of saying, we need to take it away from him. Let's just let him have it at nap time and bedtime. We took him to the dentist. He had his dentist appointment, and the dentist explained the whole thing about, and I already knew it, about, changing the shape of the mouth if they're sucking on the paci all the time. And that the earlier we get it away from them, the better. And honest, I already knew it. If you took your kids to the dentist, they tell you, you already know it. Take the paci away. It's not good for the structure of their mouth. But that was just, I guess, a Kickstarter in my brain to, motivation. Okay, let's do it. So he had his paci that morning. I had stuck it in my pocket. We went to the dentist, had that dentist appointment, and I told my husband, because he was with me at that appointment, I was like, let's just do it. Like, let's not give it back to him. Let's just see what happens. We'll get all the pacis. And we stuck a cup on top of the freezer in the kitchen, and I said, anybody that finds a paci, you stick it in that cup. It's done with. Don't let them see that there's a cup of pacis up there, but if you find one in the house anywhere, stick it in the cup. We didn't give him a paci. He has not had a paci since then. It's been 2 months. He asked for it for maybe 2 nights at bedtime. He asked for it, and that was it. He didn't cry over it. He didn't fuss over it, and it was gone. So we pretty much cold turkeyed his paci, and he didn't. It didn't bother him as much as, I seriously thought he was going to cry, have a fit, not sleep, wake up at night asking for it. No, he was fine. He had his baby. He had his blankie. He was fine. So the 3 ways we did it: we gave it as a gift to somebody else. We cut the ends of the paci off and made them shorter and shorter until that she lost interest, and we just took it. And then cold turkey. That was the 3 ways that we took the paci away from our kids that worked. I hope if you are struggling to get the paci away from your kid, that one of these ways will help you. You'll get there. Every kid's different. Every situation is different. And I think probably deep down, all of us parents know which one would work, and we just don't want to take it away. With my last one, he's my last baby with a paci, and you can see I still have them. I couldn't get rid of them. I'm not sure when I will get rid of them or if I will, but I'm going to hang on to him because he's my last baby with the pacis, and I'm just not ready to let him go. So if you're like me, you know they need to get rid of them. You don't want to get rid of them yet because it's your baby. Go ahead and do it. Just rip the Band-Aid off. You can do one of the 3 ways that I showed you and see if it works. If you're struggling with that, let me know. Tell me your story. Maybe we can all jump in on the comments and give you some pointers on what to maybe do next to help you get the paci away from your kid. All right, so that was it for this video. I will see you in the next one. Bye.